everybody, and welcome. My name is Chris Conway. I'm the president and CEO of the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce, and I would like to welcome you to the latest in our Small Business Forum series. Today, we are going to discuss the MyCTSavings program. As we always do with our small business forums, we partner with the town of West Hartford to bring this valuable content to our business community. I would like to introduce the town of West Hartford's Economic Development Coordinator, Kristen Gorski, to start off the program.
Great. Thank you so much, Chris. Good morning. So as Chris said, this is a continued partnership between the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce and the town of West Hartford. We're really excited to continue to bring our business community really great, helpful content. So for today's webinar, as Chris mentioned, this is about MyCTSavings. So MyCTSavings is an exciting new retirement savings program overseen by the Connecticut Office of the State Comptroller. With MyCTSavings, employers can offer great new benefits and employees can save in a convenient account. They can take whatever their career leads. And so for today's program, we are going to hear from two facilitators from the Office of the Comptroller, and those are Executive Director Jessica Muirhead and Strategic Communications Manager Lisa Kidder. Now, before we turn it over to both Jessica and Lisa for today's presentation, I wanted to give a warm welcome and turn over the floor to State Comptroller Sean Scanlon for some brief remarks.
Well, good morning, Kristen. Thank you so much for the intro, and thank you to Chris and Kate for helping facilitate this discussion today. And thank you to all of you for joining and paying attention. My name is Sean Scanlon. I'm the new State Comptroller here in Connecticut. I was elected last November, and while most people have no idea what the Comptroller is by title, what it essentially is to your world is the Chief Financial Officer of Connecticut. We do many, many interesting things here in the Comptroller's office. And one of those things is that we run this program called MyCTSavings, which Lisa and Jess from our team will talk to you about in a moment. But I just wanted to make a personal pitch up front about this. This issue is really important to me. I was raised by a single mom who happened to run a small business, and my mom had many challenges growing up doing that. But her specific challenges that I really recall were health insurance and retirement. She didn't have either of those things as a small business owner. And as much as she would have loved nothing more than to offer them to her employees, she just couldn't afford to do it, which is the case for most small businesses in this state, in West Hartford, in this country. They want to help their employees, they really do, but that is not possible for them when they're running a business that has very small margins, as many people listening to this call, of course, know about. But now I'm seeing the reality of what that means, right? My mom lived paycheck to paycheck, and she never had the ability to sort of put money aside. And now she's getting to an age where, she really doesn't have the savings that she would need to be able to be financially independent, and is relying on Social Security, which I think all of us know is simply not enough. And for too many people across our state, that is the reality in which that they live. Part of that is because they work in jobs that they don't have them, but part of that is also just because we are not great as a country at financial literacy. And what we're trying to do through MyCTSavings is solve both of those problems, is end the generational financial illiteracy that strikes many families and prevents them from sort of breaking that cycle and starting to save and planning for retirement. But also helping people who don't have the ability to start saving because they don't get it at their job. And what we know from a lot of research is that if this is done through their payroll, if it's done for them, people do save versus, being able to have the financial literacy to walk into a bank and request something that they may not have a ton of information about. And so basically, in a nutshell, what MyCTSavings is it's a publicly run Roth IRA program my office runs. And it's very simple. Every business with more than 5 employees has to let our office know by March 30th whether they offer a retirement plan or not. If they offer one, they're all set. They're good to go. They just go on their merry way and keep, running their business and offering their retirement plan. If they don't, all they need to do is tell our office who their employees are, and then we set the accounts up for them. The employee can decide to save or not, but the tool is there for them to use. It's there for the taking. And there is no cost to the employer to do that, and nothing more that they have to do other than helping that employee get the payroll deduction set up with their HR department, whether that's an actual HR department or it's a consultant that uses ADP or some sort of payroll program. So that is what we're here to discuss today. The deadline is coming up in 22 days. And I am doing everything I can, as is Lisa and Jess, to just raise awareness about this, let businesses know about this, and try to answer their questions. So I am running off to another meeting, unfortunately, but you are in tremendous hands with Jess and Lisa, who are the rocks behind this program. And I just wanted to take a second to thank you for paying attention to this, and looking forward to you seeing a good presentation on this and hopefully answering all your questions. So thank you all very much, Kristen, and to the whole staff here for helping us with this today. And thank you for all listening.
Great. Thank you so much, Comptroller. We really appreciate you carving out a couple minutes of your day to make that really great intro. So just a quick setting for today's webinar. We will go through a presentation, as I mentioned, with Jessica and Lisa. For any questions that participants have, please go ahead and enter those in the Q&A. We're going to ask that you don't put them in the chat, just drop those questions in the Q&A. After the presentation, we'll have a Q&A period before we wrap out today's webinar. So with that, I will now kick it over to Lisa and Jessica.
Thank you so much to Chris Conway and the Chamber staff for giving us the opportunity to speak today. I am Jessica Muirhead, the Executive Director of the MyCTSavings program, and with me is Lisa Kidder, our Strategic Communications Manager. So I will just start with a little bit of a brief background on the program, and then we'll give an overview of the plan. So across the country, there's a growing segment of workers who don't have enough savings for retirement. So as of 2021, 51% of Americans have increased concerns about retirement due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and nearly 70% of Americans are worried that they don't have enough money for their future. So what's more, millions of workers don't have easy access to retirement savings through their paychecks. In Connecticut alone, that means more than 600,000 workers that don't have access to an employer-sponsored retirement savings plan. So to address these urgent needs in Connecticut's workplace, this program, MyCTSavings, was created by law to help Connecticut's employees save for a more dignified and stable financial future, designed with minimal impact to our business community. And to give you a little bit of background, MyCTSavings was piloted with 10 employers for 6 months prior to the full launch last year in April of 2022. Business notifications and registrations were staggered in waves based on company size, with notifications going out prior to those deadlines starting about 90 days before each deadline. The current registration wave is for businesses with 5 to 25 employers, and the deadline for that is March 30th, which is why we're here with you today to talk about the program and just let you know that these deadlines are coming up. If your company has received a notification to register for MyCTSavings and you haven't acted on it yet, now is the time. And so I will hand off to Lisa to give you a little bit more detail about how exactly that works.
Good morning. All right. All right. I'm unmuted now. It's getting mixed messages here. Thank you. Okay. So the MyCTSavings program was created by the Retirement Security Program, and it was so that workers will have greater access to retirement savings through their employers. We know that many employers aren't able to offer a retirement plan due to the cost or the administrative burden or the risk to a business to act as fiduciaries. So to overcome those obstacles, MyCTSavings addresses all of those problems. The program is free to businesses. There is no charge for any business to enroll, and then it's simple to facilitate. Often it just takes a couple of minutes per pay period. Once you've gone through the enrollment period, and there's no fiduciary responsibility to the business, so there's no risk for the business owner. So all the business has to do is facilitate the program, keep the employee records keep your employee records up to date. So at its core, really, the program works because it links employees to an individual Roth IRA account directly through their paycheck, and it helps them reach their financial goals. So when an employer signs up, eligible employees are automatically enrolled. The employees have complete control. They can change their settings and change their savings program. They can opt out if they want to. They can change their percentage at any time, so they can save what works for their budget at that moment. So in terms of eligibility, as an employer, if you have 5 or more employees, and we pick the date that we measure that as October 1st of the previous year, at least 5 of those employees were paid $5,000 or more in taxable wages, and you don't already offer a qualified retirement savings plan, you need to participate in MyCTSavings. And just a note, it does include both full-time and part-time employees. So you can offer this plan to any employee that is 19 years of age or older, has worked for you or for an employer for 120 days, and is employed in the state of Connecticut. And as we look over the kinds of businesses that are already enrolling, we're seeing that restaurants and food service companies are signing up, daycare and home health care companies are enrolling, temporary agencies are enrolling, and surprisingly, breweries. We've got 9 breweries already in the state that have signed up for the program. So if MyCTSavings applies to you, this is our homepage that you're seeing, and you're going to want to click right up there on employers, and that will get you to the page with the registration information. So you register, you go to myctsavings.com. This program is designed to be very simple for businesses to facilitate, and it's designed to take up as little time as possible. When you register, you'll get a code when you receive a notification from MyCTSavings. You take that code to the website, and that you put in your EIN and the code, and that will get you started in registration. Then you upload the company payroll and employee information into the MyCTSavings system, so that the employee contributions can be made on the payroll cycle. And as Jessica said, if you have a payroll provider, you can assign this task to them. So when payroll is set up, the only information that is required in the system is what any bank or any institution would require for a Roth IRA. All the data is kept strictly confidential. The accounts are in an online portal, and they're professionally managed by Vestwell Savings, State Savings, and the Bank of New York Mellon. And we have had some calls about this. People are asking, when they go in to start setting up the program, they're saying, oh, I'm a little concerned about putting my employees' confidential information into the system. And so they want to make sure that it is secure. There's a whole section of frequently asked questions on our website. And if you have any concerns there, you can go to that part of the website and look up security, and it will outline for you the measures that are taken to be sure that your company information and your employees' information is safe. And then the last thing that you need to do is just submit contributions on your pay cycle and keep the staff lists up to date as employees join your company or leave your company. So as part of this program, we have been visiting, along with the Comptroller, businesses across the state who are participating. And when we talk to those companies, we're hearing that the program is easy to manage and that it really adds minimal time for their payroll processes. And you can see we are setting up payroll integration to make it even easier for businesses. QuickBooks Online, Payroll Services, PeopleWorks, Payroll Specialties, and Paylocity are currently participating as integrators. And then we are piloting a few other companies as we go along, and we'll be adding to that list soon. All right. So here's how it looks from the employee side. It is totally voluntary for your employees to participate. When you sign up as a company, your employees are automatically enrolled. And there's a 30-day enrollment window that allows the employees time to think about what they want to do. And they have a couple of choices. They can opt out, and actually it's 14.5% this week that are opting out of the program. The remaining 85% stay, and they can either do nothing, in which case at the end of the 30 days, a Roth IRA account will be set up in their name. And the automatic setup is 3% payroll contribution in a diversified targeted date fund based on the year of their birth. Or they can go and log in and customize their savings choices, including changing the contribution level and choosing from a variety of different investment mixes. We actually, a couple of weeks ago at the Capitol, we were talking with a group, and one of our employers said that she had an employee that just actually increased their savings up to 15% of their paycheck. So we love to hear that kind of stuff. It's great to see that people are getting in. And we want to make sure that employees have the tools that they need to achieve their financial goals. And if they do ever opt out, they can come back in again. There's always there's an 800 number both for employers and employees. So if an employee wants to speak with a live person and not just do an online action, they can do that. So we try again to make it as flexible for everyone involved. At this point, I'm going to wait one more. So from an employer point of view, if you already own you offer a retirement savings program to your employees, you have to go in with that notification you receive from the state and certify your exemption. It's very simple. So businesses go into that site, onto our homepage, as I showed you earlier. You click on employers at the top of the navigation bar on that screen I showed you previously, and go to offer a retirement plan. Already offer a retirement plan, and then I'm going to show you what that screen looks like. It will take you to a screen that looks like looks like this. Looks like this. At this point, you come in, you enter your EIN, you enter the access code that came to you in the notification from the state, and you're done. So I'm going to hand it back to Jessica.
All right, great. So just a quick note of where we are and how the program is doing so far. In West Hartford, we have about 37 folks participating, businesses participating, and 90 certified exemptions. So we're seeing some great progress over there in West Hartford. The MyCTSavings program, like we said, it started with the pilot in fall of 2021 with about 10 businesses. So we now have over 1,600 businesses enrolled as of this week, and almost 9,000 employees enrolled as of this week, with assets of 2.8 million. And we're seeing those numbers go up every week as we approach the deadline. So we're really happy to see these results. We know that this is a long road, and we'll be seeing this program grow over time. So whether you received your notice last month or last year, you can still sign up at any time and begin to provide retirement access to your employees today so they can save for tomorrow. We're here to help. Our employer support team is available to businesses by calling 1-833-811-7435, or you can visit MyCTSavings.com for more information at any time. We have a great FAQ for employers and for employees on the website with more information. And at the bottom of the page, there's always the employer and employee helplines for you to be able to ask your questions. So thank you so much for joining us today and for your interest in the program. So we'll be happy to take any questions you may have.
Great. Thank you, Jessica and Lisa. Really great presentation. So we do have a question that has popped into the Q&A. So it says, we do not have direct deposit. How do I enter the employee bank information?
Sure. So you actually don't have to put in the employee's bank information. When you register as the business, what you do is provide the business's bank information, and then the money that you report is then withdrawn directly from the bank and put into the employee's accounts on the program's end. So that part's not on the business to have to worry about. It would act more like a deduction.
Great, thank you for that. If there are any additional questions from the participants, please feel free to enter that into the Q&A now. Just a curious question. So you had mentioned that you have about 9 breweries that are already signed up. Is there, obviously this is open to all different types of businesses. That's really what's so great about this program. But is there really a larger amount of businesses within a specific industry outside of breweries that you're seeing register for this program right now?
Sure. So I would say it's the industries that you might expect would not already offer a 401k or another employer-sponsored plan. So you're going to see a lot of smaller boutique businesses who can't yet afford to take that on yet. Where this program might act as a good starter program to offer their employees something while they wait to grow, and then they can choose something later when they're a larger business. But also those who have, the types of employees who tend not to be offered 401ks. Temporary staff or part-time staff, folks who have industries where there is higher turnover. So you have restaurants and breweries, anybody, retail places as well. They're going to tend to not have this kind of plan, because if they only have a couple of full-time office staff, it might not be worth it for them to carry a 401k plan and the expense of the 401k plan for that few people. That said, it's completely up to the business. So if they want to switch from using this plan when they're ready to using a 401k plan, if they feel like that's what they prefer to do, they're absolutely welcome to do that. But yeah, generally it's not super surprising that in terms of industry, the businesses that we're seeing kind of fall along the types of businesses that don't typically have 401k plans, because it doesn't always make business sense for them to carry one.
Great, appreciate that response. And it sounds like a really great incentive to being able to keep employees in such a tough hiring environment right now. So I do have 2 additional questions that have come through. So just to go back to your comments and the comptroller's comments regarding direct deposit. So the comptroller had mentioned something about employees saving money by doing direct deposit from a payroll company. So can you just clarify if that is correct, or if there's any additional information to provide on that?
Sure. So it might be more accurate to say that the process is automated, right? So when the company will report the payroll deductions, then those deductions are taken directly from the business's bank account, and then automatically put into the employee's individual Roth IRA account that is opened by the program. So it's direct deposited in that sense, but it isn't like an ACH or direct deposit that the business would have to manage themselves in the way that you would, if somebody wants to have you direct deposit into a certain bank account or something like that.
Okay, great, thank you. Once I report the employees, are they contacted directly by MyCTSavings?
Yes, that is correct. So, so once the business enrolls its employees, at that point, the program basically takes over. So we open the account on their behalf. We contact the employee. We send them their materials. The business is not responsible for that at that point. And in fact, if the employee wants to make a change, for example, they want to opt out, they want to opt back in. If they want to change their contribution rate, or we have the target date funds, but also 7 additional portfolio mixes that they can choose from based upon their personal comfort with risk. Then they can choose that as well. That is all done directly through the program, not through the employer. So the only thing that the employer has to do after enrollment is just submit those payroll contributions. That's it.
All right, so someone has raised their digital hand, so let's just give it 1 minute to see if that question can come into the Q&A.
While we're waiting for that, I actually have a question. I noticed that this is also so that part-time employees account towards your head count for your company. In my experience, it is not uncommon for businesses to only offer retirement 401k to full-time employees. So this obviously changes that. If the employer does not, I guess they have 2 options. They can add those employees to their 401k, or is it possible for them to offer this as an alternative, but in that case, would they have to also offer this to every employee?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wish that we could do both at the same time, but effectively, if you offer a retirement plan, then you're exempt from the program and wouldn't be able to participate. So if you have, say, different classes of employees where you offered a 401k plan to, say your 10 permanent employees, but the 25 part-time employees, it's not offered to them. They are exempt from MyCTSavings, so they can't facilitate both at the same time. And that's for sort of complex federal law reasons.
Okay, so then to be compliant, you would then have to offer retirement benefits to all your employees, part-time and full-time, correct?
No, actually, you would not. So if you offer a retirement plan, you are currently exempt from the program, regardless of the number of employees at this time.
Okay.
So all you would have to do is, if you received a communication from the program, you would just need to go in and certify, yes, I have a 401k plan. It just asks for, it takes like a minute and a half. You basically give your EIN and business information to confirm it's the same business that we contacted, and then say which plan you already offer and what exemption you are claiming exemption under. Some businesses, now that's only if a business receives a communication from the program, because if you did not receive a communication from the program and you offer a 401k plan, that just means that we may have pre-exempted you because we don't want to bother businesses who we know are already offering something. So if they we're on the Form 5500 list that's through the federal government databases, then we've pre-exempted them from the list. So you only have to respond if you receive a communication from the program and you don't already offer something, or you do already offer something.
Great, thank you.
Okay, great. So seeing no other questions come through, I just wanted to give a huge thank you to both Jessica and Lisa for coming today and giving a really great presentation on MyCTSavings. So if people do have additional questions, what's the best way for them to reach out to MyCTSavings?
Sure. So the best way to contact for general questions is through our employer helpline. So we have a call center on staff to answer your questions or to help you get signed up if you're interested in signing up. So or certifying your exemption. So that would be at MyCTSavings.com or the number on the screen 1-833-811-7435. That's the employer helpline. There's also an employee helpline for employees who may have questions, and that's on a separate number that's available on the website as well. So that's the best way to get in contact with the program to help get signed up and for technical questions.
Okay, excellent. So again, thank you so much to Lisa and Jessica. Really, really great presentation. As always, thank you so much to Chris and Kate and the Chamber for partnering on this. Just a quick note. So this was recorded through the Chamber. We also have West Hartford Community Interactive on here now that's recording this webinar. So this webinar will be available on West Hartford Community Interactive's website, and then it will also be sent out to the participants as well as through the Chamber and the Town of West Hartford's newsletters. So any questions, feel free to reach out to MyCTSavings, or feel free to also reach out to the town staff as well as the Chamber staff. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.